Today's discussion will be we've done a lot of the types of muktzahs. We did Muktzah Machbetz Chetzer and Chis and Kli Shem Lach Delisser and Muktzah Machbetz Gufo and all the related halachas. We're not going to focus. When I was in yeshiva last week, I gave out the sheet of Nolad. We're not going to focus so much on Nolad. It's one big footnote in the Shmir Shabbos Kelchasa, a 3-page footnote. You can read it, different types of Nolad. But we discussed the muktzahs that really come up often. I just wanted to do in these next two shiurim today to talk about moving muktzah. We spoke about the different categories of muktzah. You're not allowed to move muktzah. But as we'll see in today's shiur, sometimes there are ways that we need to or that we're allowed to move muktzah. That will be today. We'll discuss 3 topics. Be'ez Hashem, indirect ways of moving muktzah, and what's called Grav Shel Rei, cases where you can move muktzah even directly. That'll be today. And then next week, I hope we'll get to the last year, will be the principle of Migu Diskatsoy B'Nashmashos and Asis L'Davar Ha'aser. Right, that'll be the last year, Hashem, next week. But today we get into 3 topics related to moving muktzah. Number 1 is Tiltul Min Hatzad. Tiltul Min Hatzad. Not to be confused with Tiltul Begufo. Those will be 2 different topics that we will talk about. What does Tiltul Min Hatzad mean? It means moving muktzah and doing something that is not muktzah. Tiltul Min Hatzad. We're going to see this comes up often. Moving muktzah by not by moving something that is not muktzah. Says the Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says, if I have something on a barrel or something on a pillow, I'm allowed to move the pillow, move the barrel. Let's say I want to open the barrel and there's a rock on top of it. I could tilt the barrel, the rock will fall off. I'm moving muktzah. I'm not touching the dvar muktzah. I'm touching something else that is under the muktzah. That's called tiltul min hatzad. And that I'm allowed to do, as we'll see when are you allowed to do it. Let's say even doesn't only mean tilting. There's a barrel in the middle of other barrels, and I want to get to the inside of that barrel, so then I can pick up the barrel and get to and then tilt it. So, for example, if there is something in the freezer that's under a frozen piece of meat. We spoke last week. A frozen piece of meat might be Muktzah Machbetz Gufo. It's inherently muktzah. There's no purpose to it. So I could move the dvar heter, even though I am also in that way moving the dvar muktzah, because that is called tiltul min hatzad. With the Mishnah Berurah, tiltul min hatzad. I am not moving the muktzah directly. Rak im haheter. So gam kain shvil shu tzarich laheter. And my kavana is because I want the dvar heter. Tiltul min hatzad is mutter when your kavana is for the dvar heter. Number 1. Number 2, this obviously is only mutter when we didn't get to this yet. This is next week's special discussion. If the bottom item is not called a basis l'davar ha'aser, we'll have to define what that is. If the bottom item is a basis, a holder, a base for the muktzah, then the bottom thing is also muktzah. This wouldn't work. So we'll talk next week about what's a basis. But the whole heter here is because what you're moving is not a basis l'davar ha'aser. So where might this come up? Where may this come up? So the Shulchan Aruch quotes the case from the Gemara, source number 3. In the olden days, they didn't have refrigeration. So where did they keep things? In the ground. That was the coldest place to keep. So let's say I'm going to pick something up. I put my, carrots in the ground. I dug them before Shabbos. I cut them. I'm going to pick them up, but I'm going to move dirt as I pick up the carrots. That's okay. That's tiltul min hatzad. Notes low. Afal pisha benetila. So maize is off from imkomo, because that is called tiltul min hatzad, and it is mutter tzorich davar mutter. What comes up a little more lamaisa in our day and age? What happens at the end of your meal? You cleaned away all of the dishes and cups. What do you have left on your table? All the garbage. You have bones and crumbs. How do you clean up? How do you clean up? Oh, so I could, if you have a plastic tablecloth, you just roll the whole thing up. So you're allowed to do that. But what in? You're moving muktzah. There's shells, there's pits, there's stuff on your table. You're moving muktzah. Yeah, but you're moving it tiltum and atzad. You're moving it with not indirect movement. You're touching the tablecloth. The tablecloth is not muktzah. And you're moving the muktzah by moving the tablecloth. So that is allowed because I am not moving directly the tablecloth. That's what the Shulchan Aruch says. In Siman Shin Ches, you have the sheets at the top of the second page. Atzamos sherulim l'klavim, klivim sherulim l'macha behema v'chulu, mutal avir meral shulchan. If something is still raw for an animal to eat, that's not muktzah at all, even moving that item. What if it's mamish, not raw? It's a bone, it's something disgusting, then you could check the tablecloth and move it directly, and that would be mutter. That would be mutter. What about moving crumbs off the table? Let's say there are those houses, it's not my house, but there are those houses that the mothers would never allow a plastic tablecloth on top of the real one. I mean, it's just not, it's not Shabbosdik, it's not kavod. So there are those like that. In my family, it would be the opposite. It's not Shabbosdik to spill all over the place and stain everything permanently. But so we use a plastic. But there are those that, no, we won't use plastic. So what do you do if you have crumbs? You have you want to roll off the crumbs. So says the Taz, if you have a knife or a fork and you're pushing the crumbs in order to get them off the table, that's tiltum and atzad. Tiltum and atzad, because you're not moving the muktzah directly. You're doing it with the knife. You're doing it with the crumbs, with the fork. That's tiltum and atzad. That's not so pashut. Because the Shulchan Aruch Harav and others, the Chazon Ish discusses this. That's the normal way to move it. That knife in that case might be considered an extension of your hand. Right? That's not like picking up the tablecloth and everything, throwing everything in the garbage and it moves indirectly. Moving it with a knife, might be called yada arichta. Yada arichta. And therefore, that might not be considered tiltum and atzad. You might be able to move the crumbs for some other reason, but we didn't get to that yet. But that might not be called tiltum and atzad because that is normal. That is normal for a normal way to do it. Good. Where else might this come up? You left something on your bed. You come back Friday night, right? Something real muktzah is on your bed. You left your phone, and you're one of the guys that has a very mentality on the phone. It's muktzah machmas chesron kiss. Or your laptop is on the bed. So what do? The laptop is muktzah. Muktzah machmas gufo, muktzah machmas chesron kiss. How do you move it? A shaver is probably klisham lachta le'isser. I would say a shaver is not a problem. You pick it up, let's arba como, you want to go to sleep there. But something fancy, I don't know, special, I don't know if somebody has those fancy headphones, what are they called, beads, right? Somebody has something fancy, it costs a lot of money. You wouldn't do anything else with them. Is that still a thing? That's still like people get those? I think so. I don't see anybody here with them. I don't know, Shai, yours look pretty fancy, but I don't know. But no, I'm just joking. I'm sure they're not. It's okay. It's okay. Not choshed you. But the it says people like bed, get into bed, go under the covers, and it slides off your bed. That's tiltum and atzad. Right? You're not allowed to move that muktzah. Tiltum and atzad. You're moving it in an indirect way by touching your blanket. Your blanket is not muktzah. You didn't put it there. We'll talk next week about buses. That would be mutter. What if it's your computer, though? You don't want your computer to fall on the floor and smash. So you're allowed to put a pillow on the floor around your bed. You could fall on the pillow. The pillow is mutter. Pillow is klisha malachta leheter. So putting a pillow there, even though you're putting the pillow there to catch the muktzah, that's okay. That's okay. We don't paskin like other tanoim. You're not allowed to move anything unless it's for the dvar mutter. But all of this is tiltul min hatzad, where you have a real muktzah situation. It's not just a klisha malachta le'isser, which you can move l'sar kuv l'sar l'komo, and you want to move it. So you can't move muktzah directly. So one option is moving it indirectly by moving something that's not Muktzah, and that would move the thing that's Muktzah. Okay, one at a time.
Is there a problem? Just I guess from it seems Masha from Rabbi saying if you just kind of like gather you just pick up the blanket and the computer's in there and then you just like place it on the floor and shake it off. Like, are you not allowed to like hold it, like even indirectly?
I would, if you're holding the computer just with a blanket, you're holding the computer, I would say that's like gloves. That's not really tiltum outside. If you're holding the whole blanket from the edges and in the middle is the computer, you're like doing like, they have to shake the tablecloth at the weddings and the chassan and kala jumping up and down in it, right? So then if you have that, so then that's tiltum outside. Yeah, if you're actually holding the computer just through the blanket, I think that's called tiltul gomer. That would be direct.
You can gather up the corners though and use it kind of like
if you're far away from the computer, I think it's okay. Yeah. Naftali, that was your question? Okay. Good. So that is all tiltul min hatzad. The other way though to move it is another topic called tiltul begufo. Tiltul begufo. That's different. What's tiltul begufo? So this is on the next sheet if you have it. The Mishnah in Shabbos, Kuf Mem Aleph. Mishnah says, in the days of old, right, you didn't have mattresses. What did you sleep on? You slept on like a bunch of straw. You put on and you sleep on it. So straw is muktzah, really. What are you going to use straw for? Raw straw. But you're allowed to lie on there. Says the Mishnah. Akash al gabi amita lo yirana. You can't go to your bed and hold it directly and move it around and make it nice and comfy. Just get into bed. Get into bed and the straw is shaped by your body. That's okay. Why? That's gufo. That's not tiltul directly. Gufo. What about I don't know, walking on sand? You can go walk next to the beach on Shabbos. You're moving muktzah. You're moving the sand. The sand is muktzah. Right? Unless it's in a sandbox, as we said. Sand is muktzah. The answer is that's called tiltul begufo. You're not moving it with your hands in the normal way to move something. Right? You're walking on it. Touching it with your body. You're not moving it, carrying it in the normal way. And therefore, that is mutter. And what's fascinating, you might think that this should be more chamor, because it's like you're touching it directly. You're touching the muktzah directly with your body. Now, unlike tiltum and atzad, it's exactly the opposite. If you look in the Shulchan Aruch says, tiltum and atzad, what we discussed earlier, is only mutter for the tzarech davar hamutter. Meaning, I want the barrel underneath. There's a muktzah thing on top of it. I'm allowed to move it. I want the barrel underneath. But tiltul begufo is mutter even to move dvar muktzah. That's your purpose. In the case of the straw we just said, what's your purpose? You want to move the straw to fit your body, to contour to your body, and that's mutter. So tiltum atzad is even more mekel. Tiltum begufo is even more mekel. It's mutter even with tzarech davar aser. Move with tzarech davar aser. That's what the Shulchan Aruch says. It's in Shin Yud Aleph Sivches. Tiltum atzad l'tzarech davar mutter. So tiltum atzad, meaning the indirect movement, holding something else is mutter, only for the davar mutter. But the tzarech davar aser is not. Tiltum begufo, afilu l'tzarech davar aser mutter. If it's moving with my body, not the normal part of my body that usually moves it, so then even l'tzarech davar aser is mutter. As you quote the case of the kash al gabi amita. Right? What's the svara for that? What's the svara for allowing tiltul gufo? Right? Why do we allow that? So that is a discussion. If you look in the Chazon Ish says because you're not clearly moving the muktzah. It's not like you don't see yourself picking it up with your hands and moving the muktzah. What are you doing when you're lying down on the straw? You're lying down in bed. That's what it's viewed as. You're lying down in your bed. You happen to be moving the dvar muktzah, but it's not nikar that's what you're interested in doing. It's a ma'isa shchiva. You don't call that moving the straw. You call that lying the straw. Even though your kavana, you're moving the straw mutter to davar nimshach mipulas hashchiva, because it just flows from your act of lying down. Masha ain't unlike, let's say, let's say the case of a dead body. That folks can talk all about these cases, moving the dead body and the mace in the dead body, and the dead, but that could be worse because you're moving something with our almost says no. The reason why it's mutter. It's not the reason that it's mutter is not because it's not clear that you're moving the Muktzah. Even if it is clear, even if it's clear that you're doing this l'tzarach davar Muktzah, it's still mutter. It's still mutter because that's called tilta b'natzad. I'm sorry, that's called tilta b'gufo. You're not doing it with your body the normal way that things are normally moved, so therefore it's mutter. That's what Shlomo Zalman says. I don't think you should limit this cases where it doesn't look like you're moving. The key one. Read your Shlomo Zalman, and then we'll talk about a very Kivan shot tour of Shulchan Aruch Pasuk Karash. Since the turn of Shulchan Aruch Pasuk like the Rosh, you're allowed to move the straw. Do you want to lie down on it? No, the point is it's not called tiltal. If you move it with your body, not how it's normally moved, then it's mutter. It's not the normal way to move things. People move things with their hands. That's called tiltal. Right? You don't move things with your body. And therefore, tiltal b'gufo, even l'tzarach davar ha'aser, is mutter. So where does this come up? Where does this come up? I was always, sometimes you learn something, maybe you don't want to share it with everybody. Let me say this case. You see money on the floor, on the sidewalk, on Shabbos. What are you allowed to do? What are you allowed to do? So, I don't know, you could get a bowl and put the bowl over the Dvar Muktzah. Let's say you don't want to do that. You're worried at the bowl. So what do you want to do? You want to kick the money all the way into your backyard, and then after Shabbos, you'll pick it up. You allowed to do that? Money is Muktzah machmas gufo. You allowed to do that? Or what about a child who often, sometimes on the way to shul, I've had this kid, there's a rock that they're kicking. Right? They kick it a few feet, then they get up to it and quick. And sometimes the father tries to pull the son, so he misses. And he goes back and gets it again. Anyway, so usually the taina is, no, it's muktzah. Stop kicking. You're not allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. A rock is muktzah. The child's having fun. The child is enjoying kicking the rock, or maybe not even a child, maybe an adult. Muktzah. This is the machlok. This is an afkamina, the Chazon Ish and the other poskim. The Chazon Ish would say these are both aser. It's tiltu b'gufo, right? It's with your body, but it's clearly l'tzarach davar ha'aser, l'tzarach davar ha'muktzah. You want the money, you want the rock. The Chazon Ish would say aser. According to Rav Shlomo Zalman and most poskim, this is mutter. Tiltul b'gufo. The Shulchan Aruch says beferish. Tiltul b'gufo l'tzarach davar hamuktzah is mutter. Mutter. It's not called tiltul. Period. Chazal only answered moving items with your hands in the normal way. But if you're not moving it with your hands, then it's mutter. So in the case of the money, you're allowed. You're allowed to kick it into your backyard the whole way from the shul with the rock. There's technically no problem with kicking the rock because it's tiltul b'gufo l'tzarach davar ha'aser, and that is mutter according to the most poskim. Good. There is another nafkamina that you might hold, another important discussion. What about if it's normal to hold something not in your hands? So, for example, you have your wallet in your pocket. You have your wallet in your pocket, and you realize Muktzah in your pocket. So you have to drop that as soon as you can. Is that called moving Muktzah? I don't have it in my hand. That's tilka b'gufo. So we discussed this, if you remember, a few weeks ago. Klisha malachta l'isser. We said, well, the Magen Avraham says, I gave it to you again in source number 7. Well, if you picked it up a heter, you could keep going. If you picked it up a heter, you can put it down wherever you want. But we said that might only be by klisha malachta l'isser. We said that might not be by any type of muktzah. Here you didn't pick it up a heter, you just forgot about it. Car keys. What are car keys? I don't know if we haven't spoken about that. What level of muktzah are car keys? What would you say? What would you say car keys are? Like somebody drives to shul, they forgot their car keys in their pocket. Ever happen? Right? So then what? What do you do? So they're muktzah. Probably chesron and kiss. You would not use the car keys for anything else. Car keys. So they're muktzah machos chesron and kiss. You find them in your pocket. You have to drop them ASAP. Hold your pants pocket up and turn it over. Right? Or maybe we'll say that's tilka b'gufo. You're not holding it in your hand. Tilka b'gufo. So that is a machlokas. Magen Avraham, who says that it's mutter to put it wherever you want because once you have it, you can put it wherever you want. So he clearly says that it would be a problem, tilka b'gufo. It's not mutter, according to the Magen Avraham, because it's tilka b'gufo. It's mutter because once you pick it up, you can put it wherever you want. That's mashma that, according to the Magen Avraham, really it is a problem. It's called direct tiltal because this is the normal way to hold it in one pocket. So we probably would be machmer on that. That is a machlokas haposkim. Whether we would be, we would say that you have to drop it as soon as you can because that's not a heter of tilta b'gufa. That's not a heter of tilta b'gufa. Just one other point, and then I'll take your question, Yaakov. The Shulchan Aruch discusses what about holding a child that has a muktzah item in his hand? Right. Let's say a child has a electric toy or a rattle. You have to make the child drop it before you pick up the child. That could be like, is that called tilta b'gufo? You're not touching that. Maybe that's tilta b'natzad. You're touching the dvar mutter, which is the child, and he's holding the dvar muktzah. So generally, if the child really wants it, you can probably let him have it because you're not moving it directly. Child is moving it, you're just moving the child. So ishmakom lahakel there. Okay, Yaakov, yeah.
I heard even if you have a keychain with a car key on it, you can still use the keychain.
It's hard to hear you.
Already in your hand, you can still pick up. You can go and pick it up. I heard that lechatchila is a keychain. Does everybody hear me now?
I hear you better. Yes.
I heard that lechatchila, if you have a keychain, you can go pick it up even if there's a car key on it because room for the keys are fine. Is that correct? Or
if you have other keys, now it's keychain. That we're going to get to that next week. That's basis l'davar asal davar mutter. That'll be next week's discussion. But if you only have the car keys on it, then it'll be this would be the issue. Okay. Let's try to squeeze in one more topic. So those are the two ways of moving muktzah, either tilta b'gufa or tilta b'natzad. But then one final category, and that is, there are some cases that we say is mutter to move muktzah directly. It's muktzah, muktzah gufo, but it's muktzah to move muktzah directly. So the Gemara talks about cases of kavod abrios. Kavod abrios. What's the case of kavod abrios? The Gemara talks about killing yourself. So you're allowed to move muktzah to use, let's say, leaves or other things in nature. The Gemara talks about soft rocks, to clean oneself, even though those are muktzah. Kavod abrios. Because covered Muktzah is all a Gzeira D'Rabbanan. Gemara says that Mishum covered Abrios Chazal were not gozer their Gzeira. So that's one case that comes up sometimes. But the larger issue that comes up all the time is what's known as Graf Shel Rei. Graf Shel Rei. So literally, Graf Shel Rei is the toilet. Graf Shel Rei means that the kli that's used in the bathroom. What's the principle of Graf Shel Rei? One is allowed to remove something that is disgusting, repulsive from your living quarters. Right? Chazal never answered that. One is allowed to remove something disgusting or repulsive directly. You don't need total outside. You don't need total bakufo. Pick it up directly from living quarters. That's what the Gemara says in Pizza Lamed Vav. Mutter lo tzion la'achpa. Moshe Feinstein writes, it's subjective. Depends on the person. Hagdaras Graf Shel Rei lo shayach litain shiur elo lefiha adam. Depends on the person. It depends if it's how widespread is it. There's one thing in the corner, or there are a few things around. So it's very subjective. Upamacheres, right? Also in source number 2, Rav Moshe writes, even if it's not objectively disgusting, but I know my wife does not want it there. And she's very upset that it should be taken out. Because she doesn't think it's nice to have. All of those, that's the heter of Graf Shel Rei, and one is allowed to move it away. Because Chazal did not answer this when they made their Gzeira. Okay, so what does living quarters mean? So basically, the Mishnah Berurah says, wherever you're going to be on Shabbos. Even though it's not the living room, wherever you're going to be on Shabbos, one is allowed to clean up and move the Graf Shel Rei. Baruch HaShulchan says maybe a goy would be better to use, but if there's no goy or if it's not practical, then it's not a problem. Rav Moshe Feinstein says, what about a child? He says, don't use a child, then they'll think you can move Muktzah. Just do it yourself. That's Graf Shel Rei. So what are examples? Graf Shel Rei, dirty diapers are Graf Shel Rei. The garbage is full, taking the garbage out. That could be an example of Graf Shel Rei. It might not be a true example because there's a lot of things in the garbage that are useful, that are not Muktzah. And that we'll talk about Be'ez Hashem next week, something that has Muktzah and non-Muktzah items on it. But again, that could be. Anything that's dirty is allowed to be moved for Graf Shel Rei. Here's a question of Machlokas. What if it was there before Shabbos? Graf Shel Rei, if it comes up on Shabbos, I'm allowed to use it. What if it was there before Shabbos? I should have taken care of this before Shabbos. My fault. But now I'm stuck. Am I allowed to move it then? This happens sometimes. This happens. You're cleaning the house before Shabbos, and the garbage is full, and you don't take the garbage out before Shabbos, and you get back Friday night, you're about to make kiddush, and somebody says, please take out the garbage. You didn't get to take out the garbage. You should take out the garbage before Shabbos. If one didn't, one is pashtus allowed to take it out before Shabbos, either because it's not really Muktzah, like we just said, right, or because of Graf Shel Rei. Even if it was there before Shabbos, right now it's disgusting, so therefore one is allowed to remove it. And this has to do with clearing the table on Shabbos, right? There are chicken skin and shells and other things that are not pleasant. If need be, let's say, like we said, if you have a plastic, you can roll up old plastic, fine. That's tiltul min hatzad. But what if you're going to pick up the stuff directly? Mutter, it's Graf Shel Rei. Right, if something is disgusting, you want to clean it up. Leftover bone, skin, so that is all mutter. Also, sometimes comes up if one has a leaky air conditioner. So you can put a pail under it or something like that. Changing the water of the pail. Sometimes it comes up. Is it clean? If it's clean water and you can drink it, then there's no muktzah at all. What if it's dirty water? So that might be creating graf shalrei. Again, are you allowed to do that? So we assume, again, all of these cases are going to be mutter. That is something that comes up very often. Again, also, let's say number 3, kavanah brias, graf shalrei. Let's have a third idea, anything that's dangerous. Let's say a kli broke and there are glass pieces all over the kitchen. Those glass pieces are muktzah. You're allowed to move it. You're allowed to move it because, again, just like something disgusting wasn't included, something that's mazik wasn't included. Right, the Shmir Shabbos says, mutter v'af mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. L'salek mazikim mimakam shmei adam alul midazik lehem. To remove dangerous items that people could get hurt from. Right, whether it's in the street or it's at home, wherever it is where somebody can get hurt, it's a mitzvah to move them and remove them. And therefore, if there is glass, if there's a needle, if there's a nail, all these things are muktzah. You're allowed to pick them up and move them. If there's anything on the floor that's dangerous for a child, the child might swallow. Right? So again, all of that is mutter to move in that case. What about if there's ice on my front walk? So it's hard to imagine or think about that right now. There's ice on my front walk. Before we made Aliyah, I had all these shovels and snow things, and when we made Aliyah, I gave them to my neighbor who was staying in New York at the time because I figured I wouldn't need them in Beit Shemesh. Rabbi Top, who was a good friend of mine. The following year, he moved to LA, so then didn't need them either. So I have no idea where the shovels, that say Rosner on them are now. But let's say there's ice in front of the house. So moving dirt or even salt to put on the ice so people don't slip. That could be more. What do you mean? Moving muktzah. You're moving muktzah like dirt in order to put a pashas that's mutter. And best to do that now with your hands. Do it tiltum and atzad. But again, that could be another example. There's the Shmir Shabbos. Mutter lafazer melach efer ochol afilu muktzah. Birachov shenis kasa karachol shemen v'hu chalak elam noah achlakas ha'holchem sham. The whole thing is an issue of Rabbanan and Muktzah. I'm doing this to prevent damage, prevent hezek, and therefore it would be mutter. It would be mutter.
Rabbi, isn't melting ice a separate issue?
That's a good question. It could be not in this case. It could be not in this case. It's done indirectly. You put it on there, it happens by itself. It's a question of crushing ice. Crushing ice actively with your hands is probably not a good idea. Rashi says that's called molid, but just putting the salt on and the salt acts by itself in order to prevent danger is probably okay. Yeah, Eli.
By the nail and like the glass, once you pick them up, can you put them wherever you want?
Yeah, you can put it in the garbage. Yeah, put them in the garbage wherever you want. Yonatan.
What if something is not like objectively dangerous, like you have a knife, but not like a food knife, not like a kli, that's like sitting on a counter and a child might reach it, you can move that?
That's fine. You can move it. You can be flexible. You can be flexible in this case. Again, somebody asked, why is the salt muktzah itself? Again, because generally, if there's no tzarech, salt that melts ice is muktzah machmas gufo. If there's no real tzarech, if it's a dangerous situation of the ice, then it would be a tzarech. Then it would be a tzarech and it would be us. Okay, so we'll stop here, and Hashem, next week. Eli, one more question. Yeah, had a question?
Yeah, Rabbi, is for total minatzah. Let's say you have like a laptop on the counter. Are you allowed to like put a paper underneath it and then move the paper?
It's going to be hard to get the paper underneath it without moving the muktzah. It's going to be hard to do that. If you can, then I guess you can, and then move it indirectly like that. Yeah, but yeah, if you have the computer on the counter, that's a tough one because you can move it with your elbow, muktzah machmas gufo, and put a pillow on the floor, and then move the pillow after it falls on it, something like that. Okay.